This is a battle in Beta Flash Tournament number 92. We have USSR Olkimos versus Lurtz of Agartha. I think, because I'm not able to, since this is, I think it's in Russian, so I'm not able to see the names at the loading screen, which is unfortunate, and I couldn't remember them. So if the names are wrong, I will correct them in the title. The names in the title are usually the correct ones, although I sometimes mess them up. So, cool thing about Flash tournaments, players that reach the finals have had to play a lot of games in a single sitting, so that will there are sometimes small breaks, but it's a bit about luck and a bit about stamina, a bit different than when you can schedule to play on the perfect time. So, okay, first go over the Allens here. For the Allens, we have 4 elite Agartha, we have Germanic Noble General, Noble Germanic Swords. We have 3 Germanic Pikes in the center, Noble Alani Taifali, and Noble Alani Taifali. Noble Alani, Noble Germanics, and Elite Sarmatian Cataphract. So a nice mix of units here. Up front we have Grey Hairs of all things. That's interesting. Medium Bowcav, so they can do some damage on the charge. We have 2 Germanic Hurlers and 2 Germanic Hurlers on the flank. So no Germanic Archers here. This is a peculiar Allen build. Then for the Saxons, we have Nordic Axe Warriors, a total of 4 of those. Then we have the Nordic Raid Leader, also a Dane Axe wielding unit. We have a total of 3 Germanic Hurlers. We have some Saxon Lancers, 2 Heroic Cavalry on each flank rather than Nordic Horse Lords, which is an interesting choice. Then we also have Nordic Warriors in the center, so quite strong infantry-wise. The infantry of these two armies cancel each other out a bit. Shock infantry tend to cancel each other out on the charge. But I'm quite interested to see how these pikes will enable the Allens to hold the center, if at all. So Germanic Hurlers here in loose formation, probably just to eat missiles and act as charge bait, shock absorbers. These Grey Hairs, though, wonder how much damage they can do against heroic cavalry. They need to be careful because of the Nordic Hurler support. But I quite like the Allen deployment here. It's a decent deployment. Both players deploying very wide, like 2 ranks deep for everything, I think. Or yeah, here we are a bit deeper, but 2 ranks deep on the supporting units for the cavalry, 2 ranks deep on the cavalry. The Grey Hairs have started firing, and it looks like they are not using flaming. It looks like they are using standard? Interesting. Running away now so they don't get precursored. But they are going to do a lot of damage to Nordic Axe Warriors as well. Nordic Axe Warriors just don't have health, don't have any armor to speak of, but they do have some nice precursors, and if those precursors hit here, could do a lot. Oh, but they're not getting an attack order. That's interesting. And here the Germanic Hurlers are being used as a screen, used to reduce the speed of cavalry. Nicely done here. We have Elite Sarmatian Cataphracts moving around, but this is not the best engagement for these Elite Sarmatians because of these Nordic Axe Warriors. The Nordic Axe Warriors actually took some damage from the Elite Sarmatians as well, but yeah. Basically the Heroic Cavalry got smashed, and then the Nordic Axes are going to smash the Elite Sarmatians. But that is how dangerous Elite Shock Cavalry is against enemy cavalry. So in the center here we have projectiles all over the place. Heroics up against Noble Germanic, but there are so many projectiles incoming here that it's really hard to call these engagements. Nice charge here on Nordic Warriors. Well, it looks like they sort of changed their mind because of these Saxon Lancers, but a lot of precursors incoming here. These are only Taifali. So the Allens are getting some decent engagements. However, this axe support for the Saxons is going to really hurt the Alans, and the Alans are now getting their shock infantry countercharged, which is not something you want to have happen. TIE volley against heroic cavalry. The TIE volley should just die here, and that they do. And of course, when the Nordic Axe Warriors come in, they will absolutely wreck the poor TIE volley. Yeah, they're going to disappear. Over here, though, a nice use of grey hairs to kill off the Nordic Axe Warriors, or at least damage them quite a lot. Any type of cavalry unit that charges a light infantry unit is going to do a lot of damage. Like here, the Nordic Axe Warriors are starting to waver already, so nice use here of grey hairs. And the thing is, with these very wide battles, it gets very hard to micro everything properly, even if you're using debug cam, because you have to move your mouse a lot, you have to move your point of view a lot, and it's hard to micromanage engagements well. But this is a good use of Nordic Warriors, standing there firing a bit. I think they were firing at these Germanic hurlers, so maybe not the best use. But if they were firing at the elite Agartha side, that was a nice use of them. The Nordic Axe Warriors, they are a glass cannon. They get in, do a ton of damage, and then they just die to anything. Now the grey hairs are going to try to get another charge in here, and you can see even Nordic Warriors hurt when they get hit. But the problem is now that when the grey hairs try to pull out, it's going to be very difficult for them to do so without taking a lot of casualties because of this disorganized blob. The Axe Warriors and Heroic Cavalry cleaning up the flanks. And there's not a whole lot left now for the Alans. Quite a few of the Alan units are being chased away, and many of them might just rout here. There isn't really that much left. Nice use here of TIE volley cavalry, stopping this Saxon Lancer and getting into the Nordic raid leader with this unit of Noble Alani. Very nicely done. The Noble Alani might just get wrecked here now, though, and yep, it's going to get wrecked. The TIE volley got wrecked by Saxon Lancers, so TIE volley cavalry. The Saxon Lancers are going to hit charge speed, and that means that they are going to be able to chase after the grey hairs. Quite a lot of Saxons left on the field, not too many Alans. The Alans still have their general, but he's only a Germanic noble, but this might be important. Noble Alani cavalry charging into the blob of Nordic warriors and Nordic raid leader, and that is going to hurt the Nordic units. Let's see here, yeah, the kills are increasing very fast for the Noble Alani. I think the general is going to survive this, though, because there's no follow-up, and if the Noble Alani don't pull out, they are going to... if they do pull out, they're going to take a lot of casualties. If they don't pull out, they're going to take a lot of casualties. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Here the grey hairs actually managed to take care of the Saxon Lancers. Very, very important. Now, if the Saxons are able to block off here these engagements and attack the pikes in the rear, that might be it. And here we have a very ballsy use of the Nordic raid leader. He's actually running in to the Germanic pikes, and the heroic cavalry is also charging into the Germanic pikes. The Germanic pikes haven't routed yet. The general is still alive. The Germanic nobles are going to be able to charge in here. Here we have Nordic warriors turning around. There are still these Hearthguard Nordic warriors and more Nordic axe warriors here. So it's going to be very, very difficult to stop the general in the center here from getting wrecked. It's not going to happen. There are too many Saxon units on the field, so valiant defeat there by the Alans. And yeah, it was Olkimos and Lurtz of Agartha. Lurtz commanding the Saxons and Olkimos commanding the Alans, and the Saxons actually defeating the Alans in this case. I have to admit, I don't quite understand the Alan build here, not at all, but the Saxon build was, under the rules, it was a good one. And I'm going to make an assumption here that there's maximum 4 of the same unit type, maximum 6 cavalry general included, since and skirmish cavalry exempt from that, since there's this composition here. But and maybe maximum 2 noble Alani as well. But a bit of a strange Allan build there. Good job by Lurtz defeating the Allans with the Saxons. So let's move on to game number 2. Strength and honor.